Hello there, this is Matthew. Welcome to Shadow Font, Episode 2, where I explore the deep, dark things in the end of Star Wars Rebels, and actually talk about Rebels in general, and things that I liked about it, and things that I think I'd like to incorporate in my works of fiction as well. Because everything that goes into you comes out of you in some way, and that's what this little show here is all about. So, Star Wars Rebels ended, I don't know, a week or two ago. I'm going to go full spoilers on it. I'm not going to go into big detail. I didn't make any notes for myself. I ended up making notes for the Black Panther episode I did previous to this, but I ran out of time, and I really want to do it now. I was eating lunch and talking to my wife, and I figured I got 10 minutes where I can get this out real quick, because I have pretty strong feelings about Rebels, in that Rebels got me to be a little ambivalent. So I'm going to take a step back real quick and say that I really loved Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I really, really, really loved and latched onto the Clone Wars microseries by one Genndy Tartakovsky and a whole crew of other people. Yes, he wasn't the only one doing it, but he did do a lot of work, and it seems like he put a lot of himself in that show, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I really thought it was too bad that he didn't get to make Clone Wars, or the Clone Wars, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but Dave Filoni did, and I really like a lot of the work that Dave Filoni has done. I thought Clone Wars was excellent. I know he wasn't the only one working there either. He was collaborating, and Lucas was there pitching season ideas and whatever. And now Filoni was kind of in that role as opposed to Lucas with Rebels. But, man, I really love the Clone Wars, and I've watched Clone Wars again and again, and my kids have watched multiple episodes of Clone Wars, and they're all under 8. So 2 of them have watched multiple episodes, especially the oldest. She's watched it like a couple times over, and my wife has passively watched it a couple times over with her, and she really liked Star Wars: The Clone Wars as well, and it was a better show than Rebels, or it was telling, I don't know, for different reasons, we as a family prefer that. We started off Rebels kind of cautiously optimistic. I wasn't angry or upset or anything. And actually, I had read John Jackson Miller's fantastic novel, Star Wars: A New Dawn, starring, which should be called When Hera Met Kanan, or When Kanan Met Hera. And it's about Kanan Jarrus, one Caleb Doom, actually, meeting this pilot and rebel in her youth, Hera Syndulla. Anyway, that's a really great book by John Jackson Miller. Great cast of characters, lots of fun from Kanan and Hera themselves. There's a little romantic tension in that was handled in a weird way in the show. So, anyway, I'm trying to follow a general format. So I've got what people got wrong. What did people get wrong about Rebels? What people got wrong about Rebels is that it was pointless. It was a pointless waste of time, and it was filler, and that it was basically dumb or just for little kids. Rebels had a range to it. It definitely was targeting a younger audience. I don't know if that's because of Disney XD. I don't know if it was because Filoni wanted to make different choices. I don't know why. It felt younger. But anyway, I'm getting a little too much into commentary. What else did people get wrong about Rebels? I think, according to my perspective, people got... I'm not really sure what else people got wrong. Again, I'm going off of I haven't made notes, so I'm just going off of a very loose structure. What are my favorite elements of Rebels and the end of Rebels specifically? Actually, I'm going to talk real quick about one of the things I least liked about Rebels, which is this. Airing the way it did on Disney XD, there were huge gaps in it. And I do remember back watching the Clone Wars, there were some really big gaps, but pretty much it always kept me really interested in every episode all the way through, so that when there was a gap for a month or two or whatever it was, or in between seasons, I was just I waited for it to come back to Cartoon Network, or I eventually started watching it straight off of StarWars.com, which was awesome, for free, and I didn't mind the gaps there, but It's weird. There was a season of Power Rangers when it came back I tried to watch, and they had a bunch of gaps airing on Nickelodeon, and I fell off very quickly because the show wasn't good enough to keep me coming back and like demanding that there were episodes like Clone Wars was. Or even like when I was a kid, there were certain shows and they would change stations or whatever, and I would look and look and look at, I found this show great, I'm going to watch it now. And with Rebels, I bought the season passes and watched it on Amazon. And it would air like the next day after it aired on Disney XD, and it just wasn't always good enough to keep me coming back. The first season was really good. The second season, in fact, the first season was so good that I think the movie or whatever, the first episode where they free, everybody meets Ezra and they free the Wookiees. They got like an immediate. Lucasfilm and Disney said, we're renewing this for a season 2. So that was great. Simon Kinberg started... Wait, hold on. Let me just double check. I know Simon Kinberg did work on it, but I'm really thinking about the Gargoyles guy. And sorry, I didn't watch Gargoyles, so I don't really know. Not Simon Kinberg. He did work on it, but there's somebody who I like better who worked on it, and I'm doing some Google right now. Let's see. Gargoyles series creator. Gargoyles... series creator. This guy did some really great work on Rebels in the beginning, and he also... Greg Wiseman. There we go. Greg Wiseman. That applause is for you, sir. The Kanan comic that you wrote was fabulous. It was different. Kanan was different in it from... Well, he was a kid, so it was all before New Dawn. But that was a fabulous comic book. Guys, check it out. Or guys and gals, everybody. Check out Greg Wiseman's Kanan the Last Jedi. I believe it's a 12-issue series. Might be 14, I don't know. But it was really, really good. Probably... Well, I got rid of a bunch of comics because I don't need to hold on to everything forever. I kept my Kanan comics because I do want to go back and revisit those. They were really, really good. Anyway, so Greg Wiseman was working on that first season of Rebels. For some reason, he didn't continue. I thought the second season was pretty good. I think the third season was the hardest for me. Yeah, I actually remember thinking, why am I still watching Rebels in the third season? And the fourth season was okay. I really loved like the last 6 episodes. Like once they came back from the break and they were doing like 2 episodes a night or whatever, over the last like 3 or 4 weeks, they were really doing some great stuff. And Ezra, the way he was written, changed. And I wasn't happy that Kanan died, and I think it's unfortunate that the only way Ezra was able to change was that Kanan died. And I don't know. I just listening to like Dave Filoni's interviews afterwards. He drops that in season 2, Minister Tua says there's something more going on in Lothal than just these TIE defenders or whatever. There's something that the Empire wants. And then you got dropped all these hints, and the fact that there was that crazy Jedi temple there with that like world between worlds, as Filoni calls it, the access to it, and the Emperor wanted to use whoever was there, and it happened to be Ezra and Kanan at the time, or more specifically Ezra, to get to that. Like, I love all that. That's great stuff, and the way Ezra was being written there was really good, and Sabine was being used really well. Sabine got such short shrift like through most of the series. There was a real weird imbalance in Rebels in how different characters were used, and I have affection for all of them. Some of them it didn't come until recently because they didn't, in my opinion, the show didn't do the work to make me like them at all until recently, which is unfortunate. Like Ezra, he was okay the first season, and then in the middle two, I don't know, not so much. Anyway, that's enough negativity. I want to get into some of the positives. I didn't like Thrawn, but I'm not really that much of a Thrawn fan anyway. Sorry, Zahn. I liked Luke and Leia and Han in those books, and Mara Jade was cool, whatever. And I only read the Heir of the Empire trilogy, and I liked a lot of that, but I kind of think Thrawn might be overrated. Anyway, wrapping up, my takeaways from Rebels, which, hold on, by the way, I love the Purgle coming in and Ezra's connection to the animals and the Force, and I don't feel like he was too powerful or whatever. I don't think the Force has power levels. I think the Force flows through somebody if they are a conduit to it on the light side, and I think the philosophy of the Force shown in Rebels is one that I really enjoy. Another thing is, that did I already say like the Purgle? I'm sorry, I lost my track of mind. I love the Purgle coming in. Another thing, I don't know. I'm gonna wrap it up now because I really should. And in Star Wars Rebels, I'm glad it's gone. It had its ending, which I'm happy about. I wish that the ending and it sets up interesting ideas for the future. I don't necessarily need to see the show with Ahsoka and Sabine looking for Ezra, although that would be really neat. I'd be into that. I think it'd be cool for there to be 2 female characters being the main characters of a Star Wars show, especially because Sabine was given such trashy, like, I don't know, Hera was like the ship mom and she just stayed on there and on the Ghost, and Sabine had like almost nothing to do most of the time, unfortunately, which really offends me. Like, if you're going to have the ladies, have them do something, have them be really important characters, which Sabine in Season 4 was really great, and anyway, so my takeaways from Rebels and things that I'd like to think about is, like, I don't want to fall into some of the traps they did, so, like, maybe plan to examine all your characters in this crew that's a family and yada yada, like, in a different way, because I don't think it was done very well a lot of the time, and the way it was done so unevenly. It was done well when each character was given attention, but they weren't all given attention in the same way or in an even-handed manner, and it kind of it hurt it. It honestly really hurt the show for me and made me wonder, like, why am I still watching this? But the end of Season 4 was great. The last half was fabulous, and I just wish it would have gone like that the whole time. Although, I will admit, Clone Wars always was better in, like, the second half of the season, because for whatever reason, they just let it get crazier and crazier. And there was always, like, that really weird episode in the middle of the season, which I'm cool with experimentation. I want... I love The Last Jedi. I want things to be weird and different and unique, and for the people making these shows to take chances. So I applaud all that. It's just, sometimes it doesn't work, and I'm going to be honest with you about when I don't think it works. So there you go. Oh, and then also, don't worry about the fan criticism. I'm not saying these creators need to listen to the fans. I think the creators, they do their work. They do what they think is best for the product, for the story that they want to tell. And I think that they should hold on to that. And I'm seeing Filoni talk about the things, and he tries to justify, no, it works, if you really look at it again or think about it, this totally works, everything gels together. Yeah, it does. But, Dave, you're doing good work, sir. Like, don't worry about the people who are going to hate. Just do your work. And I really think Rebels, at least in the meta narrative, gets across that point that that's how you want to operate. So that's all I have to say for now. If you enjoyed what I had to say, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe to get more of my videos, and you can ring that notification bell once you subscribe so that you get a notification every single time I publish a video. Thank you for your time.